Hey there, I'm finally in Seattle and I want to tell you about the check-in process and customs in Toronto. So stay tuned. So I left Sudbury to go to Toronto. Now the check-in process in Sudbury was pretty straightforward, but in terms of the suitcase, I had to put the suitcase myself on the conveyor belt and I had to wait. I'm talking about the check-in suitcase. And I had to wait until they checked the suitcase to make sure it was safe. And then after that, I was able to go into the boarding area. Interesting. I did need a mask with customer service on the customer service side, but when I went to check my suitcase, I needed a mask. And then when I went to wait for my boarding, I needed the mask there too. So flight went well. I got to Toronto, and then from Toronto, Terminal One, I had to get to customs for the States because I was going to Seattle. And this is where things got a little bit kind of weird. Right, I'm still at the Toronto airport, and I remember the first point. I'm trying to think here. The first point, oh, I might have forgotten something before that. Right, I had to go through security. I had to go through security first. So took my shoes off, took the laptop out of the bag and the tablet out of the bag, my coats, and all that stuff. And that had to go through. But my bag was detained because I guess they found something in there. So he asked me what it was, and it was a roll of money because I forgot the wallet is lost. I shared that on another video. No, I didn't. I didn't share that on another video. By the way, I'll share that on another video because I couldn't find my wallet. Anyways, so a roll of coins. Then after that, I had to go through customs. But there was a heck of a lineup at customs. And when I finally got to customs, he asked me, it probably took 45 minutes. He asked me some simple questions, where I was going, how long I was staying, and so on. And then I was able to then go to the next part of the process. First part was pre-customs, something like that. So then I got to the next part, which was a long lineup again to get to a point where it asked you if I checked in any baggages. And because I had checked in a baggage, I had to go in line number 2. There was a lot of people waiting. And I had no idea why I had to go there. But then, eventually you learn that this is where you wait until they checked your baggage, the checked in baggage. And what we had to do there was either listen for our name or check on the screen, because if our name was called or if our name was on the screen, it meant that they had already checked our baggage. And I'm talking about the checked in baggage, right? They had checked our baggage, and then we would be able to go through to the next part. So that process took about half an hour, 40 minutes. And it was like, oh my God, crazy, right? Crazy. Some people, not just with the process of waiting for your bag to be checked, but the security check and then waiting in line to talk to the customs officer. Some people missed their flight or were going to miss their flight, and they were all told, to contact customer service when they got to the next step. So I didn't have to worry about that because my flight I arrived in Toronto. It was probably around 3 or so. Then my next flight was at 6:45, so I gave myself plenty of time. But I didn't realize that I would have had to wait like hours. So I finally got to the waiting area, to the gate, and at the gate, I was just regular stuff. So I boarded. This is still in Toronto. I boarded, and then eventually got on the flight. And then the flight took 5 hours. You have to listen to my next video to see what happened once I was in Seattle.